Scott Muni here on the World of Rock, and my special guest and co-host today is going to be Lou Gramm, who's a fascinating guy because he not only sings, he writes, he tours, he does solo projects. He's a founding member of Foreigner and all these other things, and you go to do things with other projects and other albums and all, and welcome.
Good to be here.
Now, with that billboard, we got a lot of work to do ahead, and you have to help me because, of course, you're co-hosting. The album that's out now, Long Hard Look, is your second solo venture. Now, you proud of everything?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yep.
The first and the second.
Well, the first really spoke for itself. Not everybody has that much luck with a first solo album. Some have a great deal of luck. But I think your careful attention, your voice is easily recognizable and has been loved for a long time. So I think that it might be your personnel that you put together.
Yeah, it was an interesting blend on that album, and between family members and kind of guitar heroes that I've been longing to work with. Yeah, it turned out to be great chemistry. Yeah,
that's kind of interesting. Well, we can mention that as we go along and play some of the music in the album, and maybe that'd be a good idea for you to say why this particular guitar player was used on that track and so forth. That's good. See, you got yourself all set up now. You know one of the things we're going to be doing.
All right.
The first single, Just Between You and Me, which we had ahead of the album, I guess is saying something to us. I mean, it's already happening. It's on charts and so forth. So just to have everybody get used to it and to welcome you to the show, this is Just Between You and Me. The advanced single and the thing that's been happening real good for Lou Gramm, our special guest on the World of Rock, Just Between You and Me. And I guess you guys all got together and thought, okay, there's a lot of songs here. What should we do first? Is that what happened on that, Lou?
Pretty much, although Just Between You and Me was written just prior to going into the studio, after we kind of assessed what material we had. My main co-writer, Bruce Turgan, and I worked very hard on getting some new and interesting ideas happening for this album. After we assessed what we had, and I met Holly Knight again. I had known her 7 or 8 years ago through my association with Foreigner. We were in Germany, and we wrote Just Between You and Me, and she's a fabulous lady and a really talented artist.
That's great. Curious, in the Long Hard Look album, there's a song in there that maybe people who haven't bought the album yet don't know about, but it's called Tin Soldier.
Yeah.
And people say, I think there was a record out called Tin Soldier a long time ago. Tell me about that, Lou.
Well, I mean, it must have been 1967 or 68 it was out. It knocked me for a loop. It was not a big hit in the States. It was kind of played every now and then, but it left a lasting impression on me. It was, I think, the first thing I heard by one of my vocal mentors, Steve Marriott. And after I heard that, I was obsessed and followed his career, everything he did.
So as a kid, that particular song stuck out. So you put it in the card file.
Absolutely.
But it came back and it sort of stayed there, and you thought, someday I'd love to do that.
Well, I'll tell you, Scott, as I was going through my formative years and playing in garage bands and this and that, we would do Tin Soldier, always.
Really?
Yeah.
So I think that's fascinating because you're right. From that particular, the Faces thing, the Marriott singing and all that, was not a number one or a top 10 or anything.
Not at all.
But that's interesting because I don't know what it was on the British charts at that time. I don't know whether it was a hit or not. But I think, you especially... people who have a chance to hear records sometimes because you're musically inclined and things are in your head, you have the advantage over other people, and certain old songs stick. Now, a lot of the new groups, as you already know, are bringing back older songs, but that's mainly because they don't write.
Right.
And so they hear that song and say, that's a good song, and nobody did it in a long time, Yeah.
For me, though, it was just it's a tip of the hat to a vocal mentor and someone who I really respect.
So it's kind of... thanks, Steve Marriott.
Yeah.
Well, while we're doing that, do you think we should let everybody hear it?
Yeah, why not? I bet you there's plenty of people who have never heard it.
Tin Soldier. So we had a little bonus time for Steve Marriott, folks. All right. Why not? That's the fun thing about
really?
World of Rock.
That's right.
I know you probably had a lot of people when you were growing up in formation of what you wanted to do and get involved in music and all that. It's good to have the heroes because without that, I guess the world wouldn't keep going around, our World of Rock anyway. And, you take a group like Guns N' Roses. I mean, I'm sure that without Led Zeppelin, we wouldn't have Guns N' Roses,
yeah,
right?
True.
That's for
true.
sure, whatever it is. Let me ask you about Lou Graham's solo career now. Do you and Mick Jones have any plans? I know all of you have to set a timetable and all that. Do you have any plans in the next year or so to get together and do a Foreigner project?
Definitely. We've talked about it. We continue to talk about it. We're starting to exchange ideas and begin writing songs. But I think the recording and release schedule is going to be left loose because I really need to give my solo album all the attention it deserves and let it kind of reach fruition. And then I can turn my attention completely to Foreigner and feel good about it.
Oh, yeah, I think that you want to follow through and you want to tour as much possibly as you can.
Yeah.
If that takes a year in conjunction with other things that are coming out of the album, you'd want to do that too.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that, both of you, Mick doing his thing and producing something over there and putting a solo album too. I think it's very healthy.
I do too. I know that all that kind of creative flow is gonna only help Foreigner when we do get together.
Oh, sure. But, and both of you know that you want to do that also and that the public wants you to do it. But they, everybody wants to see Lou Graham on the stage. Get out there and do something. Let me see you.
Sure.
So
I'm ready.
You're ready.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about the album, The Long Hard Look, because we played the single from it, and we did do Tin Soldier. But I know there's a lot of things in here, and we mentioned earlier in the program that you use different guitar players on some of the tracks and some of the sessions and all, but you must have had a reason for that.
Yeah, basically as the songs were forming, the kind of the direction and such, we had particular styles come to mind, and Peter Wolf, who produced the album, was able to reach some of these people like Vivian Campbell and Dan Huff from Giant, and Peter Manu, who's a great fusion stylist, and of course my friend Nils Lofgren. We got to the point where we needed the character styled playing of particular individuals to lend almost a direction to the songs. And again, being able to do a solo album affords you the luxury of having different people really contribute. So we got these different guitarists on different cuts and let them loose.
All right, now I told you, you're our co-host and you have to play disc jockey.
Okay.
So pick a song from the album and introduce it and tell us who's on it.
Okay, great. This is a song, this is one of my favorites on the album. It's called I'll Come Running. This is Dan Huff from Giant playing guitar, Bruce Turgan bass, Ben Graham drums, Peter Wolf keys, yours truly on vocals, and I really love this song because it kind of transcends the boundaries of hard rock and pop. I'll Come Running.